Welcome back to the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. I'm Emma, and today we're diving deep into a critical topic, H5N1 Avian Influenza.
And I'm Alex. We've seen a lot of talk about pandemics lately, but H5N1 avian flu continues to fly under the radar. But yesterday, the first human case in Missouri was confirmed without known exposure to infected animals. That's big news because it raises concerns about how this virus might be evolving. Today, we'll break down everything you need to know about H5N1, from recent outbreaks to the role of intensive food production, and even the cardiovascular risks associated with the virus.
Exactly. And while the risks are particularly high for agricultural workers who often have direct contact with infected poultry, the virus is showing some worrying trends. For example, we've seen outbreaks in both Missouri and Colorado recently, and in Colorado, 663 poultry workers were involved in depopulation efforts. Out of those, 109 showed symptoms, and 9 tested positive for the virus.
Yeah, that was shocking. Thankfully, the cases were mild, with conjunctivitis being the most common symptom, but this cluster underscores the potential risks for those working closely with poultry. And like with the first human case in Missouri, it raises important questions about how the virus is transmitted and whether it's evolving to spread more easily between humans.
And that's one of the most concerning aspects of H5N1, transmission dynamics. While it's primarily a bird virus, research shows that even minor genetic mutations can drastically increase the virus's potential to spread between humans. In one study, a single point mutation in the hemagglutinin protein of the virus shifted its receptor binding preference from birds to humans. This makes it much easier for the virus to jump species.
That's right. It's almost like flipping a switch that allows the virus to interact with human cells. This is why genetic surveillance is so important. Scientists need to closely monitor these mutations to anticipate how the virus might evolve and potentially trigger another pandemic.
And it's not just about genetic mutations. The way we produce food, especially through intensive farming, plays a big role in how these viruses emerge. High-density animal farming and changes in land use create ideal conditions for pathogens like H5N1 to thrive. In fact, a recent study highlighted the catastrophic impacts of the ongoing H5N1 panzootic from 2020 to 2024. Showing huge economic losses and devastating mortality rates among wild birds and mammals.
That study also emphasizes that if we don't address the root causes, like unsustainable farming practices, we're going to see more outbreaks like H5N1 in the future. Climate change, globalization, and poverty are all part of this larger puzzle, and they exacerbate the problem. The solution? We need to adopt sustainable food production systems that don't promote the spread of dangerous pathogens.
Exactly. It's a global issue that requires transformative actions, especially as we look at the wider environmental impacts. But what's really interesting about H5N1, and something we've learned from the COVID-19 pandemic, is how it affects cardiovascular health. Alex, can you explain the link between cardiovascular complications and this virus?
Sure, just like COVID-19, H5N1 can lead to severe cardiovascular complications. It can cause endothelial dysfunction, which compromises blood vessels and leads to an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. And here's where statins come into play. Statins are widely used to lower cholesterol, but they also have anti-inflammatory and cardioprotective effects. Some researchers are now looking at whether statins could help reduce the cardiovascular risks associated with H5N1 infections.
That's fascinating. Statins were shown to be helpful during the COVID-19 pandemic for similar reasons, so it makes sense they could have benefits here too. But we still need more research to confirm how effective they are for H5N1.
Definitely. Statins are safe and widely available, so if further research supports their use, they could become an important part of the treatment toolkit for managing H5N1-related complications.
So let's shift gears and talk about another critical area. Laboratory response. One of the challenges with H5N1 is that most labs don't have specialized tests to specifically detect it. In fact, many tests can only identify influenza A, which means a lot of cases might go unreported or misdiagnosed.
Public health labs in the U.S. use a CDC-developed RT-qPCR assay to subtype H5 viruses, but this is only available in low-volume settings. It's not scalable for large outbreaks, and it presents challenges when it comes to surveillance and outbreak management.
And this is compounded by the FDA's new regulatory changes regarding laboratory developed tests, LDTs. Labs were once able to quickly develop and implement new diagnostic tests during pandemics, but the new rules impose a 4-year compliance period for these tests, which could slow down responses to emerging pathogens like H5N1.
That's a real concern. There's a lot of uncertainty about what constitutes a substantial modification to an existing test, which could discourage labs from adapting tests during an outbreak. We need clear guidance from the FDA on these issues.
But it's not all bad news. There are also opportunities for improving surveillance. One idea is to require labs to send all unsubtypable influenza A positive samples to public health labs for further testing. But this would require significant resources, so we'll need support from both the government and the private sector to make it happen.
And while we work on these larger systemic changes, we can't forget about natural solutions. There are several herbal remedies that may offer immune support, especially for those concerned about viral infections like H5N1.
Let's start with elderberry. It's rich in flavonoids like quercetin and anthocyanins, which can inhibit viral replication. This could be particularly beneficial for preventing the virus from binding to host cells.
And don't forget andrographis, which contains andrografolide, a compound that's shown to have broad-spectrum antiviral activity. It works by inhibiting viral protein synthesis, making it a great option for boosting immunity.
I also love garlic for its antiviral properties. It contains allicin, which not only helps lower cholesterol, but also has strong cardioprotective effects. Plus, it's been used in traditional medicine for centuries to fight off infections.
And when it comes to cardiovascular health, hawthorn is a standout. It's rich in polyphenols that help improve blood flow, lower blood pressure, and protect the heart.
Turmeric is another powerful herb, especially for reducing inflammation. It contains curcumin, which is a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. This could help mitigate the cytokine storm that can occur in severe viral infections like H5N1.
And for overall immune modulation, you can't go wrong with reishi mushrooms. They contain beta-glucans, which modulate the immune system and enhance your body's ability to fight off viral infections.
These herbs together provide a multifaceted defense against viral infections like H5N1. But remember to always consult a healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially if you're on medications like statins.
Right. Herbal remedies can be incredibly supportive, but they should be integrated thoughtfully. And the more we understand about the virus, whether it's through research or natural approaches, the better prepared we'll be.
So, to wrap up, we're seeing that H5N1 is an evolving threat. It's spreading through unsustainable food production systems, mutating in ways that could make it more dangerous to humans, and even causing cardiovascular complications. But we're not powerless. From statins to herbal remedies, and from sustainable farming to better surveillance, there are actionable steps we can take to protect public health.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for more in-depth information on H5N1 or herbal remedies, head over to our website and check out the full article. We cover everything from the environmental factors driving the virus to how you can support your immune system naturally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay informed, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.